Hi, and welcome to the Shortgrass Prairie. I'm Lou Lloyd, the nature enthusiast. Indeed, if you're living within the city limits of Denver, or between 3,000 and 5,500 feet of elevation, just look out your window and enjoy the beauty of it. Go on, take a look. Can you imagine what Denver looked like back in the 1800s? Do you imagine a rough and tough land where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play? Not anymore.
Okay, just go.
Today on our show, we're going to be covering 3 species of animal that inhabit the shortgrass prairies of the United States: the prairie dog, the burrowing owl, and the bison. Allow me to introduce to you a world-renowned burrowing owl expert, Mirsal Moncada.
Hello, folks. Today I'm here to talk about the world-renowned burrowing owl, also known as Athene canicularia. I have a little critter with me here today so I could talk to you about it. This animal reaches a max height of 9 inches and it lives in the shortgrass prairie, hunting insects, small rodents, and even small amphibians. It lives in, you guessed it, burrows dug by its friend the prairie dog. It lines the inside of the burrows with cow or any kind of dung that it might find around its home to attract dung beetles that it then eats. It's like home delivery for its food. Also, the burrowing owl is renowned by its small height, and it has white masked eyes. The burrowing owl has white feathers around its face, and the rest of the body is different shades of brown that help it camouflage in its prairie habitat. In Colorado, it is not a species of concern. However, in places like Florida, it is a species of high concern, and in Canada, it is endangered. Let's not let this happen to the burrowing owl. Let's help him out. Cut it.
Welcome inside to my office. Let me introduce you to Samantha Commercy, our local resident bison expert.
Well, I'd like you to meet our North American bison. He's one of the largest mammals that roams the prairie ecosystem.
Wow, it's a pretty neat looking buffalo.
He's not a buffalo at all. Doesn't even live in North America. He's a bison, scientific name bison. These powerful animals can weigh from 770 pounds to 2,200 pounds. They're large, bulky animals, and they can even run at speeds over 30 miles an hour. These amazing mammals used to roam the Great Plains. There used to be about 60 million of them, but now today there are only like 250 left.
Well, where do they all go?
Well, back in time of the Old West, many settlers killed them where they caught diseases.
So there's no way we can just, breed more bison in captivity?
Well, increasingly today there's less expansive habitat for the bison who need vast amount of space because they roam around. But we need these animals on the shortgrass prairie because they help the prairie
Sam,
by
thanks for coming over and sharing with us these awesome facts about bison.
Of course. I'm glad you got to meet my friend, the North American bison.
And to end our show today, we have a special guest, Mr. James Coons from the plains of Colorado. He's a cattle rancher and avid prairie dog exterminator.
Hi, how's it going?
Just fine, Mr. Coons. So what is your current opinion of prairie dogs?
Oh, I don't like them too much. I don't see what the big deal is about prairie dogs. Aren't they just oversized rodents?
Well, actually, in a sense, they are, seeing as they're in the same family as squirrels. But, however, the reason they do deserve respect is because the integral role they play in the shortgrass prairie ecosystem, one that you yourself utilize to grow cattle. Prairie dogs are what we as biologists would call a keystone species.
Keystone species? What's that? Do they drink beer? And what's a shortgrass prairie?
Your humor amuses me. Actually, a keystone species is a species of animal that has an abnormally large impact on an ecosystem relative to its abundance. In the case of the prairie dog, that ecosystem is the shortgrass prairie.
So what do they do that's so important that I shouldn't feel compelled to use them for target practice? I mean, they destroy grazing fields and cause my cattle to break their legs in their burrows. To me, they seem like pests.
Well, actually, they provide a great deal of habitat and food for other animals like burrowing owls, we've spoken about earlier in the show, as well as white-tailed rabbits and even foxes. And the idea that these critters destroy grazing fields and disrupt cattle is a common misconception. In fact, prairie dog colonies actually create cattle forage that is much more nutritious than it normally would be, even though it appears that there's less grass.
Okay, you made some good points, but I still don't understand why you feel these things need to be protected so adamantly. It looks to me like there are plenty of them, and besides, don't they carry diseases that could make me sick?
Well, James, you're both right and wrong. Prairie dogs do carry disease. In fact, plague is one of the major killers of prairie dog populations in the shortgrass prairie. However, the idea that they spread diseases to humans is a little bit of a stretch, since they usually die very quickly after they become ill. Both of these facts, as well as human destruction, something that you cause, contribute to the rapidly declining population size that has dropped to 1% of the original population size.
Wow. Who would have thought that these little guys were such an important part of the shortgrass prairie, or that they have seen such a sharp drop in population size?
Well, Mr. Kearns, now you know. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Lou.
We are continuing to lose our prairie lands to development, and with it, the homes of all these wonderful creatures.
We need to stop the destruction of our prairie ecosystem and begin to take action.
The first step to stop this loss is to educate people about this beautiful ecosystem we live in.
Know your nature.
Know your nature.
Know your nature.
Know your nature.